Well, before we get into talking about your course, let's just talk about you.
Okay.
You've been working with the college for a while, and can you tell me what brought you to this field?
Okay, I started out with deep sea rescue, and then I got trained as a firefighter paramedic, and I did that for a good number of years. And then I got hurt at a fire on a roof, and I went through 9 surgeries. And so I had a disability. So I heard about this type of body work called the Rolf method of structural integration. And so I went and I experienced that work. It helped me tremendously. So I trained in that. And which is a holistic, hands-on working with the physical body. And what I found out was after a few years, it was around the mid 90s, that I began to look at people's breath. And to be more specific, what I was looking at was that the inability to breathe in a really efficient, proper way, lack of breath. So I trained in the breath work and I incorporated that into my work and trained in a few other modalities of the energetic, holistic nature. And then it was about 20 years ago that I heard about dowsing. And so Susan, my wife, we studied with that, and we trained in that. And so basically, after a while, all of these different modalities, they start to have a common theme. So what I've done is I've incorporated all of these things together into the breath work that I share, the meditations that I share, the dowsing, everything, it kind of blends together. But the most important aspect of all work, all different modalities, is that they begin to focus on the subconscious mind. The theme of the work is for ways to create permanent change. And so this is a way of getting to the core of the issue so that when we address the core, which is almost always based in the subconscious mind, and we bring it to the conscious level, then we have methods to clear it.
I was reading the name of your course, Exploring the Subconscious Realms Through Conscious Connected Breathing, Meditation, and
Mhm.
Dowsing. And those all sound like really different things to me, but it sounds like you see a strong connection between all of them. Does the course focus on them equally?
These classes, they sound very different, and and I've taught each one of them separately, but this time going back to the common theme, they all are working with the subconscious mind. So using the breath, which is called conscious connected breathing, is a way to drop into what's called alpha state, which is the subconscious mind. It's that relaxed, clear state of intuition. So the first step is using the breath to share how to drop into alpha. The benefits of that is beta, which is our conscious thinking mind, it gets in the way of a lot of things. For example, we can sit on a park, a beautiful afternoon, on a bench, totally by ourselves, and have an argument. Should I have done that? I can't believe I did that. Oh, what was I
Yeah.
thinking? That's the conscious thinking mind. So, first, I share how to drop into alpha. Takes about 12 to 15 minutes for people who are new to it. Then the next stage would be sharing affirmations that are appropriate. And I'm going to give an example. For let's say there is a person who is a little overweight and they want to lose some weight. So they create an affirmation: I am slim and healthy. What will happen is there's a contradiction there with the conscious mind because they know they're not slim. That's why they want to drop some weight. So when that happens, that's why a lot of affirmations don't work, is because the conscious mind and the subconscious mind have to be in sync. So instead of
Mm.
saying, I am slim and healthy, when they know consciously, no, I'm not slim, that's why I want to lose weight. Instead, they can just say, slim and healthy. and there's no
Oh,
argument with the conscious mind. And that plants
yeah.
the seed in the subconscious mind. And then that's the seed to create the change, because when we have the visualization, when we have the faith in the subconscious mind, it will grow, it will take place. So there's ways that we have to get around or learn how to bypass the conscious mind. So
Hmm.
that's the affirmations. With dowsing, dowsing comes also from the subconscious mind. This takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of experience, because when in dowsing, there's intuition that's used with asking questions. And intuition is subconscious mind. Sometimes people were, where in the world did you like come up with that? And
Yeah.
so what, it's like out of the blue, and sometimes we might not even know it, but it just comes to us because that's the intuitive mind. And so we're able again to get to the core of what's going on. And when we address the core, then we have ways to make adjustments with frequency, vibration, energetic levels. So, this common theme is the same in many modalities of how you get to a person's uh, mental emotional state of relaxing, because that's the healing state. And so the meditation of dive into the void is using breath work, but it's another way of dropping in to alpha or the subconscious mind to explore. The most important thing about sharing this breath work is that there's a lot of people that really don't breathe that well. They breathe shallow, they breathe right here, they breathe just enough to get by. And a lot of people will hold their breath during the course of a day. There's a moment of tension, there's an argument, there's something that's going on a person doesn't like. It's common to hold the breath. So with regard to sharing the breath work, and I almost don't even like saying breath work, because this particular method of breathing is the way that we're meant to breathe 24 hours a day. It's the most physiological, efficient way to breathe 24 hours a day. However, most people, we have a pattern that gets set up at birth, and I share the history of birth trauma or the birth experience, which sets up this pattern of this shallow breathing. And the problem with it is twofold. One is that it creates tension in the physical body when we don't breathe well. So when the person's in a stressful situation, and so they're already a little tense, and they don't breathe well because they're holding their breath because they're upset over something, it increases it. So it's the awareness of the breath is my main goal here, for to share with people on how to use it, how to become aware. So at the beginning, I it's a little laborious because you have to think about it. You have to think about your breath. And so it doesn't change overnight. It'll progress over time, but eventually you'll get to a place that you will realize when you're not doing it, because that
Hmm.
seed's planted in the subconscious mind, and it becomes normal. A person who's in control of their breath is in control of their life. They're centered, they're calm, they're like this because they're breathing. So I'm putting these things together because people, they'll take from it whatever it is that's appropriate for them. So there's like different angles to look at it from, different ways to use it. This breath, you can stand in line when you're at the store or the bank. You can be breathing that way. Nobody knows it. It's not hyperventilation. It's just our normal way of breathing. And so people who develop this awareness, it can be life changing for them.
Well, that sounds amazing. And it sounds like, so like dropping into that alpha state sounds like it would be a really useful skill for our students to have if they're studying like mediumship, psychic development, being able to have that extra tool of breath work sounds like it could be of great benefit.
It's huge. It's huge benefit. In the healing realms, when a person is doing healing work, they're in alpha. They're not in beta. Beta is a necessary brainwave state if we're driving in rush hour traffic. You know, if we're involved in a really hectic work situation or there's a lot of stuff going on, we need to be in beta. That's that, when we're driving in rush hour, we're not going to be in alpha. However, when we get back to the house at the end of the day, it's nice to drop out of beta and to be into alpha. When somebody is doing healing work, they're in alpha. And that's in the breath work in this particular day and age. It's really popular. And yes, when people in mediumship, when you're working with a psychic, when you're working with somebody who does the type of body work that I do, even if you're working with somebody who's sharing this particular breath, the reason that they can do that is because they themselves are in alpha, and that's the communication, that's the frequency that's necessary for the interchange of information between client and practitioner.
And then for this course, I wanted to ask, are there any entry requirements for people or is it open to anybody?
This course is open for anybody. And because the reason that I've introduced these several topics is because, I've taught like just the breath work for like a 6-week course. And it doesn't take 6 weeks to learn how to do this breath. It can be taught in one simple session, in one. However, the 6-week course, it takes people deeper, and because people will have questions, like they'll have a question like, it doesn't seem to work for me, or I'm not doing it right, or um, and so it'll lead people into deeper states. However, the reason that I'm introducing these topics this time is because, yes, let's do the breath work. I will share how to use it. There's 4 steps to it, and how to use the breath work. And then the next session will be accepting affirmations that are positive. They're always appropriate for everybody. It's not like a specific affirmation like someone who wants to stop smoking. It'll be about health, about positive thinking, um, and show how to use these affirmations when a person's in alpha state, so that it sticks, it plants the seed, and it grows. The reason that I bring dowsing in is because dowsing is a form of prayer, and it's a shamanic form of working with energy. And for prayer and faith, these come from the subconscious mind when they're effective. When somebody is really saying, and that's what dowsing is, it's a form of prayer for somebody, of how to clear something, how to invite in something that they're interested in. And it's not with the conscious mind, because sometimes that'll create an argument. Like it might say, wouldn't that be nice? Oh, yeah, right. That's the conscious, that's interference. So it's a way to drop in. And it just goes back to saying that, there's so many modalities in the healing realms, and they all have this thing in common. They all have getting into the subconscious mind. That's what effective healing is about. It's the effective communication between client and practitioner. So this is why, it sounds like there's various things in the program. However, they're all, they're all linked together. And this is what I would like to share with people, is just these different avenues to get into this state, so that we can drop down out of the kind of like the hyper vigilant state that a lot of people are in, a fair amount of the time.
Yeah, I think I find myself in that state a lot. So yeah, it sounds like you can get some really amazing benefits. Like the potential of this sounds absolutely incredible. So I hope this course finds the people who need it. I'm kind of tempted myself now after this
Mhm.
conversation.
It's appropriate for everyone, someone who's new to the work. It's also appropriate for somebody who's already done some breath work because it just branches out in some different arenas of different ways to use it. So, if someone's drawn to it, I hope to see them there.
Thank you so much, Sven, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.